Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Are we glad it's February? Are we glad? Ooh, sugar. A little bit over enthusiastic there. Are we glad that the first month of the year is officially over and we can start look forward to spring? Dare I say it, despite the fact that I woke up this morning with a frozen car and had to defrost it. But I feel spring's on its way. Then I see some daffodils starting to peak up. Like, I'm starting to look forward to maybe some spring-summer sowing. You know, I feel mentioning summer in a frozen day, maybe a wee bit premature, but here we are. Hello, I'm Steph. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your resident chaotic crafter, and can you believe that I'm actually coming to you with a makes video? Like, I am shocked. Shooketh, I am. Because I have been in a cast for all of January pretty much and didn't think I'd get that much sewing done. Recovery is a slow process, but we are getting there. I am actually going to attempt the full dog walk today, but later on in the day, so when the aching kicks in, I don't have as much of the day left to live, but it is sunny and I'm looking forward to actually getting out and pushing myself a wee bit. But I have actually managed to get a fair bit done this month, and it's actually really been a really nice way to start the year with actually having some projects made, because I really do feel I've been in a massive slump the past couple of years, and I don't know why. Honestly, it's just the way my brain works. Let's just jump straight with what I'm wearing, right? This is just polar fleece. I get most of my fabric from Pound Fabrics, and I've wanted a gilet for ages. It's been one of the makes has been part of my ongoing series of like my countryside fashion, and I wanted to put my own spin on it. Now, I'm not looking that great today because it is actually freezing. I got this pattern off Etsy, and I will not link it below because I am doing a video that I saw another creator do. I will link it below, and about the rise of AI patterns on Etsy, and I bought a few just to see what the crack was, and I have managed to get it to work, and I have put my own spin on it, but the instructions were pretty much non-existent, and I did measure up the pattern pieces first before I started cutting out the fabric just to make sure that it is going to work for me. I have made a few mistakes, but that was like mistakes on me, so the zip doesn't line up properly there because I didn't fold it over enough. But I did. Look at this binding. This is on me. I bound stuff. Look a bind on it and stuff, which I never really do, like proper or elevated sewing techniques, but January has been a good month. Now I have two darts here. I made up these darts because it was a bit baggy here, and I realised they should possibly not go down like that and they should go in like that, but I am not a professional garment sewer, and I just wanted to take some of the fullness out of the bust because I have a small bust. And the pockets are like patch pockets. Again, they're a wee bit small. My phone keeps falling out, so if I made this again, I would make this bigger. Overall though, I am happy with the finished product, but I think a lot of these say beginner projects and they're not. I have some skirts to make up and two dresses, so I will make that up, and that video will probably be coming out in April, so we shall see how I actually get on with those patterns. I have all the millions of pattern pieces cut out, and then that video will be sort of a deep dive into the Etsy platform, because I am an Etsy seller, right, and I love it, but you really do have to be aware. It's same with any sort of online, maybe it'd be an online safety video, but with any purchases now. So I have been struggling to wear some of my shoes because my ankle is so swollen, right? So I was like, I need some, I've seen the barefoot shoes advertised for years. I thought, you know what, they're wide, we'll try. So now for every single purchase I make, I have to then Google Trustpilot to see like the reviews, because you just cannot trust sales now. Even if it has a .co.uk site, the websites they just don't tell you information, and there is certain things you should be looking out for on every site, and it makes purchasing online that much more challenging and that much more frustrating, which I do think in the end will force shoppers back into shops, which like physical shops, which possibly is only a good thing. So even with these shoes I've bought that are on the way now, I wanted them to turn up relatively quickly. I went on Trustpilot, and Trustpilot had lots of excellent reviews. It's still been shipped from bloody China, which is really frustrating because I can't get my money back now. I can't cancel the order, and I thought I did enough due diligence, and still it wasn't enough. And the same is with Etsy, like your due diligence now has to be so much higher when purchasing online. So that video will be coming out because it's kind of something I feel really passionately about, because as a seller myself, I don't want to get tarred with the same brush. And if I'm also buying stuff online, if I'm giving you my money, there's certain criteria I want to fulfill, right? I usually want to buy from British sellers because I am in the UK. I want that money to stay in our economy, and I want it to go to sellers who are in the UK. I want, if I'm purchasing off Etsy, to go to someone with a certain level of honesty and integrity, which is not always the case. So that video is coming, but I have worn this loads now, and it's big enough to go over my other fleece. And it's nice because I can now wear this under my like outdoor jacket, and I've not added like extra bulk to my arms, because like sometimes I have trouble with arms, like sleeves. So yes, I would make it again. And yeah, overall I give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and the mistakes are my own. So there is that. So that's one of my most recent makes. What else have I made? I have been testing out this pattern. Sorry, I've got mints in here, they're making a right racket. Made out of some fabric I had left over, some needle cord that I made some dungarees with years ago and didn't like, and it is called the Stash and Go bag. Because let me take you down to the table. We'll take the leather strap off. This is one I use for most of my bags at the moment, to be honest, because it's one I made and it was a prototype. Most things I have a prototype. So it closes with these 3 really durable snaps, because the idea of the Stash and Go bag is it's like your everyday bag that you can throw everything in. Like, it's a pretty decent size. You have a few little darts down here, so I would say like a confident beginner if you want to learn a few more skills. And then on the back I have like this pocket for like keys and like AirPods, stuff like that. And then I wanted this to be able to, like, if you have this on the floor and you have your knitting in it, you can separate it out with these holes. And also, like, I didn't want to put a zip in. Let's tell the truth. So as we dive in, we have a million receipts, but I think it might be best if. So this is the same pattern, but smaller. So this is the stash aspect, because this has a sock in it, because I realised, like, if I just want to go out and grab something, I want a project that kind of lives in my bag, something I can just have thrown in. And it's a trainer sock. Hopefully I will get to finish these this month. And then it's also on portable yarn holder, so I can just attach it to stuff like my wrist. And then this bag also I can use as like a little phone bag, like put dog food bags in, put my AirPods in. I can just run out the door with this, and I use the same strap. So this, I've got a pocket here, and then on the inside again with a small zipped pocket to put in like your stitch markers, stuff like that. And I probably would put a loop on the inside. Just, you know, I'm a huge fan of adding loops to stuff. And then, so this, I think I would have with snaps and with a matching fabric. This is just my prototype, which now is in daily use, to be honest. So I can then just attach this as like an extra bag on the inside. Honestly, I love it. So on the inside we have, let's turn it inside out, shall we? This huge pocket, and like it goes all the way down to the bottom. I got my sunglasses in there because It's getting a little bit sunny. And then this I absolutely adore. There is so many pockets here. So I've got a massive pocket down here, and 2 needle pockets, and then 2 slightly bigger pockets. So you've got 5 additional pockets to put in like needles and like all your bits and pieces. And obviously I've got my darning needle. Again, I would put more loops down the side to attach more stuff. And then like this pocket is possibly a bit too long, because if you put your hook in, I mean, it is going all the way down, right? You're losing it. So I probably would shorten it by a couple of inches so you can see your hooks and whatnot. So yes, I'm currently making up the tutorial for that now. And because I just needed a slightly bigger bag. Like my favorite bag is the leather bag that I made, my green one, but it just doesn't fit in enough stuff. Like especially when I'm going out with my little one, like I need to put snacks in, water, I need pens and colouring stuff for him if we're going out for a lunch together, or snacks for him. Like we are trying to not resort to iPads, to be honest, even though he is growing up in that generation, to be fair. So yeah, this is just my prototypes, and I've actually been really loving the process. You know I love design process. It's just the follow through I have issues with. Like I'm very good at creativity and ideas, but actually getting a finished product out is something that's a bit more of a challenge for me. So yeah, that is another finished item that I have been absolutely loving. And do you know what? It's been really nice to have some, like, been using up some of my fabric stash as well, because you know I love using up my scrappy fabric, especially from like garments that I've sewn. Let's get all this crap back in here. I can go back downstairs. So that is 2 things I made this month. Are we impressed? Now I know you can see what's on Delilah, and that, if this was gonna get its own separate video, but I really need music to focus, like loud 90s club music, like dance music that really, like, I need the beat to help me focus. So I can't put that on YouTube because I'll get demonetized for using other people's music, and I don't want to sit for hours and do voiceovers. I'm not at that stage yet. Sorry, I keep trying to cross my legs and I can't because it hurts. I don't know if you managed to see one of my other videos, probably not. My channel's been pretty quiet. I have listed a few project bags on my Etsy as like little bundles. So I'll just quickly show. I've got 4, and each one is a slightly different colorway. And it's like a Valentine's Day, like, you know, sometimes you're just wanting to feel like a little bit girly, a little bit like have really beautiful bags. So yeah, so 4 of them, so they fit different sizes, and they come with like a ton of like 14 stitch markers. So you got like your little love heart ones, and then each one includes some needle minders, so your work doesn't come off your needles if you're using a magic loop, so circular needles. And then obviously we cannot not have your portable yarn holder with these beautiful hearts, and you can fit like 3 20 to 40 gram yarn cakes on here, and a little divider as well, just because I wanted to use up some of the quilting fabric that I've had for a long time now, and I really enjoy making leather pieces. I find it really therapeutic, and you get these really beautiful projects in the end. So they are listed on my Etsy. I do think they'll take quite a while to sell, to be honest, because I have priced them reasonably. I had a look at like general pricing, and people are well undercharging for their skills, but I understand that we are in a recession, and we have been since 2008, and things are not going to improve. They're really not going to improve. So I'm happy for them to sit on my shop for a while. I'm not desperate to get them sold, and it means that I will probably put a sale on them at some point as well. But it is nice to have a little bit of fabric used and to just use my pattern a bit more. So now I've got a couple more size ranges, because this is the Septet bag and it's 7 sizes. So I think I have nearly every size made up now, and I love it. It's my favourite project bag, and I have I have so many of them now, and like the urge to make more is like really strong because I have so many more ideas, because I really want to like practice my applique this year. Now I have totally gone off on a tangent. So yes, I've been enjoying like diving into that Etsy shop a bit more, and I do have like quite a lot of ideas still to come for it. Again, just with the follow through, I just need. I like the creating, it's the afterwork. I'm not a huge fan of like the product photography, the writing the descriptions, getting everything marketed on Pinterest, and then all the other stuff. I'm just not the best, especially when I don't see results. Like I will write blog posts, but then I don't get any traffic to it. So I'm like, I've written this and no one's read it. So yeah, but that is just an aspect of being a business owner. I'm now up to 20 sales on that shop. So the progress is slow, but I have made sales, so I'm happy. I just sold another yarn cozy, and honestly, they're so useful. Just really useful. Like I use the few I have all the time, and I actually could do with making a load more. But maybe that is what I'll do at the weekend. I'll make a load of yarn cozies because I have a ton of knitting projects. I've managed to finish a pair of socks in 2 months. Now, if you have seen the crazy sock lady, she manages to finish a pair every few days, and like props off to her. Like I am super impressed. I have a pair of socks on the needles that had been there for like 15 years. 15 years. So the fact that I managed to get some socks finished in 2 months, I feel is super impressive. Now, I did have to force myself to finish these because I got bored fast, right? Because like this whole, the deadline was Christmas. Didn't hit Christmas, obviously. So then I was like, I was trying to force myself, and I want to start new projects. Please let me start new projects. Like, no, I have to finish these socks. So I finished them about 2 weeks. So my husband went back to work. So now they're possibly just going to sit there till next winter now. So I could have just left them, right? But leaves are off the needles. These were 2 at a time, toe up, which is my first time using this technique. I followed along with a YouTube tutorial, and I am sold on 2 at a time socks because I do suffer with second sock syndrome quite badly. I suffer with first sock syndrome, to be honest, but I genuinely love making socks. So getting these off the needles at the same time, absolutely fantastic. It's not as therapeutic doing 2 at a time. I love stockinette. I could just do that all day, just going round and round and round. But with it being 2 at a time, the tangling of the yarn was a little bit more frustrating. So I think going forward, I would do a mix of 2. These were DK weight, so they actually knitted up quite fast, and they fit my husband perfectly because I went toe up. So yeah, I actually managed to get something knitted off the needles, which never happens. I just end up casting on more projects. I know, because that is the way I roll. I like the dopamine of something new and shiny. Now, come look at Delilah. Let's move you down a bit. So me and my husband, we kind of struggle to know what to get each other. And I am a maker. I've made him stuff, and then it's not being worn. So his wax jacket that I made him, he generally doesn't wear anymore because he's got other jackets which he prefers. So I now wear his wax jacket. So waste not, want not, right? And when my son ages into it, he will wear it. It's something that will stay with the family now for a very long time. So I am kind of reluctant to make him stuff. Garments, I am reluctant to make him garments. Socks, it's fine because I know he'll always wear socks because he loves socks, right? So I'll always make him socks. I can't ever promise they'll get made in 2 months again. Maybe 2 years is my actual average. So then I was like, well, he showed me like some of the targeted ads that we both get targeted ads on social media. And I was like, well, send them to me. Like if you see a clothing brand you like, send it to me and I'll see what I can do. So he did. He sent me this smock here, which is £180, which is a lot of money, but it is a British store. I'm not sure if they're made in the UK. We didn't do that much of a deep dive. We did confirm that it is actually something that is in Britain. So we then went on a deep dive for a pattern to try and duplicate this, and honestly, because it's such a simple silhouette, it is just an overall really, just with the drop shoulders. we ended up with the LB pullover by Paper Theory, and I got the size 16 to 28, and I got it from In the Folds, and I got the printed version sent, which is better than trying to stick together lots of bits of paper, to be honest. Now, it is marketed as a female pattern, but it's all straight lines, so it's female, male. I kind of think it's gender neutral. I do think with the sizing though, it does lean towards female with these smaller arms and versus torso. So I cut out a size 18 but with this 20 arm to accommodate my husband's biceps. But I think next time I would cut out a straight size 20 because this is designed for like maybe like a sweatshirt material, something with a little bit of give in it, and this is a cotton twill which has no give in it whatsoever. But he said he likes it and he will wear it, so you know that's kind of all that matters when it comes to this, that he is happy with it. He was told if he doesn't wear it he will not be made anything again, garment wise. He has to actually wear the stuff I make, but since he chose this, like he looked at the pattern, was like, yeah, that sounds good. He then went and sourced his own fabric. We got this from Minerva. It is a cotton twill, and the brilliant thing with Minerva is that you can see everyone else's previous makes, which really helps that decision making process, because he was leaning towards quite a lot heavier weight of fabric, more like in the denim range, and I didn't think that this, looking at the pictures, that is what that led to. I thought this would be perfect, and it really is. It's the perfect thickness, and it's just what he was looking for, as that like intermediary pullover jacket sort of thing for like the in-between season. So it'd be perfect when he comes home later in the year, like for that April weather. And he can wear this with a jumper. So yeah, we're all happy. Yay. So the pocket on the front, which you can't really see, I self-drafted this, and I think it looks pretty similar side by side to the one that we were trying to duplicate, to be honest, and I'm pretty happy with that. And honestly, I would make this again. I didn't really like it at first, and I think just because it needs to be a little bit more oversized, to be honest. So I should have binded this, but I was running out of time, to be honest. I wanted to get it done before he went away. So if I made another one, I would do that. I ended up with the most perfect buttonholes I think I've ever made, and like they line up as well. And I did put interfacing behind this. Now, it's not something that will, as a drawstring, was really going to get used, but it's added a little design feature to make it look less boring, I think. And same goes for the one down here as well. I mean, he may pull that in more too, but it just makes it look a little bit more interesting. He did want a logo here, and I was like, if you're going for something like that, to buy this costs £180, and then they have their logo right down on the seam. And I was like, you don't really want like a massive logo on your chest. You're trying to look sort of more high end, and I do think having a massive logo slapped across you makes it look a bit more trashy, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. And he wanted just one aspect of my logo, which is the propeller, which I was surprised he works on ships. But I couldn't. I did the outline, but he wanted a filled in version. That'll take me a little bit longer to actually get around to designing, and I kind of want it to be quite little. So that is an embroidery pattern that I'm working on right now, and I kind of like the direction that would go in, to be honest. Yeah, it's quite nice. I think maybe redesigning my logo a little bit. So the features of this, which I actually do love, it's the massive pocket on the front, right? That is pretty awesome. I love that. And honestly, I would like this if this was zipped. If this is a zip up, I think it'd look even better. I did fully line this as well in a very similar colour, which again, I love. But because I made this for my husband and not for me, like, not the best finish I've ever done on what I'm wearing right now. But other than the neckband, I did every seam is a French seam. Now, aren't you proud of me? I never do fancy finishes, and the fact that everything is French seamed did take a while, but I did not touch my overlocker once. Now, was part of the reason for me doing French seams because my overlocker is not actually threaded and it would take me hours to rethread this bloody thing? Possibly, yes. It seemed easier to just go over everything twice and do French seams than to try and rethread the overlocker. Stress. This thing brings me stress. And honestly, I kind of only wanted to use it for jerseys. And one of my aims for this year is to start doing better finishes, and this goes towards my goal of doing more seams, better seams this year. And so the bottom I folded over by 1/4 of an inch, sewed it, and then folded it over by 1 inch to get this through. And then every seam, like all of the arm, the shoulders, all of these seams are all beautifully French, which I do absolutely think gives a really nice finish and has made me a lot more amenable to this. I do like it a lot more. I think one of the reasons I wasn't like a huge fan of it is because we have quite a lot of stuff in this colour now. So I have some dungarees that I've been trying to knit for like 2.5 years, sew for 2.5 years in a similar colour. I also got some needle cord in a very similar colour for some other trousers. He also had quite a lot of clothes in this colour already. His Crocs are this colour. So I just feel we have quite a lot of this type of green in our life. So if I made this again, I think I would do it in a navy and make it a little bit bigger, but still with the same design features. And I think that would look excellent. I have the pattern now. So for the sleeves, I lengthened it by 3 inches, and for the body, I lengthened it by 8 inches. And again, I think I would do it I would add like another inch because it kind of rides up a little bit in the back. And so I think a little bit longer just to accommodate so it sits a bit more nicely in his back. But that is what I've made this month, and I'm very happy to have started the year off in quite a positive way. I always think I definitely overcommit and underproduce, but not this month. It's been nice to just see where the flow has taken me. And my last project this month is a very small baby quilt from this fabric that I've had forever. Winnie the Pooh, very small blanket, tons of quilting just in straight lines, and I did the brick formation because I didn't have the patience and the mental health space to be able to have beautifully nested seams because not all of my blocks are the same size. And then this is the back. I didn't do any binding. I did the turn right sides out method because I didn't have any binding to hand and I didn't want to make any, but this is so soft and I have loads of it left. So that is someone we know is having a baby, so I'm going to make up quite a few things to put in a little bundle, and I really like that. My son still has all of his blankets. Sorry, I'm causing absolute chaos over here. My son has all the blankets from when he was little, and he still uses all of them, and it's so nice to have crafty people in your life. I don't know if this person does have crafty people, so I do think it's nice to get a few handmade bits, and then it's just nice keepsakes, isn't it? So I assume the baby will grow out of that blanket quite quickly. But I said I've got loads of fabric left, so I may make a new one in the future, who knows. But it's nice just to have like something to throw in the pram, something to throw in the floor, you can put the baby on it, just that sort of thing. That wraps up today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and stick around if you want to see what my February plans are. It's a short month this month, so we might not get as much done as I anticipate, but we still have battery. We're still good. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.